So I read a couple really short, silly fics that I uploaded about the two princesses. Why not continue that and make it a series? So my next couple uploads are basically just going to be silly fics. And these are just going to be those random, short, silly things that writers do for fun. I'm so sorry. But it's 3 a.m. and this is a story about corn. Corn on the Cob by Mushroom Lover. Between Cadence's hooves lies a glistening, golden kernel cob. She firmly grasped the sides of the cob with her soft pink hooves, and she started to indulge herself. She slightly opened her mouth and slowly took her first bite on the cob, grinding her teeth up and down, left and right in a circular motion. She slowly chewed on her food. Her eyes began to narrow down, squinting as if she was staring toward the abyss, yet her face still remained flat, neutral, and unemotional. She continued to feast on the yellow delight between her hooves in that same manner as if time itself had paused, leaving just herself and the corn alone, devoid of all space, time, and reality. A deep, dominating background music kept playing on repeatedly inside her mind. Her always bright, cheerful, and love-centered aura slowly faded at the moment she started consuming the cornel cob. She stood all alone in the lonely corners of Canterlot streets with the cob on her hooves. She didn't care, since it was between her, herself, and the corn on the cob. Looking so flatly in the bustling streets of Equestria, she continued to gaze at Canterlot's populace during the busy days. Ponies were always busy moving in and out of establishments, running to and fro, busy with their schedules and work, and buying and selling their various wares to various customers, building from the largest of structures to the smallest of houses, and to the common public works. Such is a normal day for Canterlot. Ignoring the bright and cheerful day set by her aunt, the Princess of the Sun, Princess Celestia, she remained indifferent toward the beautiful weather as she kept indulging herself with her corn. The sun shone a golden glow, giving light to almost all the corners of Canterlot, if one could say. The temperature is simply perfect for all colts and fillies to play under the sun without burning to a crisp and still enjoying the warmth of the bright yellow star, which also gave an ample amount of lighting throughout their entire playground. The weather for the day was also perfect for the adult mares and stallions to do their job without getting exhausted by the heat. One could consider that the Sun Princess is in a pleasant mood to give such warm and tender sunshine. Unmindful of the crowd passing by, greeting her and giving her highs and hellos, she continued to chew down the kernel pieces, grinding it into every bits and pieces and savoring their sweet taste dancing inside her mouth. Though she looked unmindful, she didn't appear snubbed, as she simply was in her own world. Some fillies and colts suddenly tugged her hoof, pulling her to play with them in exciting games and what they would play. It could be considered a routine for Cadence playing alongside some colts and fillies in the park. It's just that today is a bit more different. There's something between them and their favorite pink playmate. After tugging with nothing happening except noticing Cadence's flat expression, their excitement quickly quelled down as Cadence continues to have herself immersed in her own world. She slowly looked down toward the source of the disturbance. The children quickly rushed away with excitement to see Cadence finally noticing them. Moments later, the colts and fillies would be disappointed as Cadence only looked at them flatly with those eyes and resumed back staring forward into the abyss and continued to chew down on her corn. The adult mares and stallions of Canterlot also had their share. Several worker stallions wearing their standard blue denim jumpsuits and their safety hard caps were the first ones to get her silent treatment. Bringing their petitions and proposals regarding for better construction laws and regulations, they approached the Pink Princess with hopes of persuading her to bring the issue up to her aunts. A pair of flat eyes and her continuously chewing jaws was their awaited reply from Princess Cadence. Unable to snap her out, the workers simply walked away. A group of on-duty soldiers soon found themselves in Cadence's blank stare. Unable to ignore her unusual stare for the standard salute, they slowly approached the far-off princess. Confused to what she was staring at, they speculated random theories and speculations among their group. Unable to contain their curiosity, they soon emulated the direction of her stare, but found nothing out of the ordinary. Just plain old Canterlot. She slowly drifted her stare toward the guards beside her. Her icy, flat stare sent chills down the soldier's spine, prompting them to resume their stance and get away from the pretty pink princess before they incur her wrath. She returned her eyesight looking forward, and took another bite of the cob as soon as the soldiers had left. Next to pass by were a group of politicians and noble ponies dressed casually with their slick suits and stylish dresses. It was normal for any members of the royalty to be sharing the time of these sorts of ponies. They tried getting themselves noticed, but to no avail. They simply outmatched by the corn in Cadence's hooves. Hiding their irate, they simply walked out with fake smiles on their faces and left the pink princess. But there was one among the noble ponies, a white stallion wearing his signature monocle and mustache, who smiled a genuine smile after seeing Cadence acting as such. Every pony was ignored, and she continued to savor on her cob. She slowly lowered her jaws, preparing for the next bite. She maintained her flat and unemotional expression until she bit something hard. Confused and puzzled, she looked toward the cob and her hooves. Out of kernel the cob was. The whole corn was eaten clean, and just the cob remained. Her eyes slowly lit up, her expression began to lighten up, and her mood began to move toward the normal, cheery self. Blushing slightly, and embarrassed to not notice that she had already finished the corn on the cob, she darted her attention left and right, hoping that no pony saw her. In her slight panic, she overlooked one familiar-looking white stallion unicorn standing in front of her smiling. Her newly-wed husband, the captain of the Royal Guards, the newly regarded hero and savior of Canterlot, was wearing his standard purple armor and approached her. "Did I miss anything?" she asked. "Nah," he replied confidently. "Shall we?" He extended his hoof. She gently held onto his hoof as she comes closer beside her husband. She smiled her usual cheerful smile as they both went on with the busy day of Canterlot. "Do you want to know what I was thinking earlier?" she suddenly asked, as if prompting the stallion to inquire further on. She kept on smiling and grinning, waiting for the stallion's reply. The end.